Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you here today. It's Thursday morning live. And yes, I am a little bit late getting on this morning. Had to get my coffee, work some things out. I apologize for that. Glad that you're here. If you're new to the show, go tell somebody to get here because I just want to say buckle up because we're in for a
Gonna
ride.
be fire.
Well, you know what time it is, right, brother? Hey, I'm joined this morning by my good friend, Coach Sharpen, Bryce McKinley, joining us from Dallas, Texas, the home of well, I'm a Bears fan, so what are you going to do?
Hey, I'm a Packers fan, so I get it. And I live in the enemy's territory from growing up in Chicago there and always been a Packers fan to
Hey, we
now
got
I live in
listeners.
Dallas.
We got listeners that are sad like you too, Packers fans.
Hey, y'all play for my trophy anyways. I'm just saying.
Hey, here's what I want to say though. I need to say this real quick is this if you were expecting to see another guest on this morning, he had an emergency come up and I found out last night and Bryce stepped in really quick. Jake was going to be on with us. We were going to talk about Jake's platform. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. We'll try and reschedule with him. But Bryce said, hey, man, I'll raise my hand. I'll jump in. We'll talk about some crazy stuff and about the summit coming up and, some other things going on. So, Bryce, how are you?
And I'm too blessed to be stressed, brother. I'm too blessed. I'm excited. One of the things that I learned a long time ago, and let's just come right out of the gate with some massive value, right?
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago, Mike, that the most flexible element in the room is the one in most control, right? And you and I have been friends. We're working on a project together right now. And what better way to show some flexibility and leadership than just be like, yeah, I'm in, let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be here. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, share this out, like it, love it, hate it. But whatever you do, just don't do nothing. So I appreciate you for having me on, man. I appreciate you.
And I love this live, right? Because we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube this morning. And if you're new, please like us, love us, share it with somebody else, like Bryce said. And if you are someone in the audience, you want to make a comment, say hi, drop your name in, tell us where you're from. If you have a question about anything we talk about, and we have no idea what we're going to talk about this morning.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, too. But, Bryce, I like what you said, because you got to be flexible, right? You got to be able to pivot pretty much on a dime, make a change and go in a different direction if need be. And I think that that's one of the reasons you and I have become friends. I love, I really have embraced technology so much more today from the standpoint that, even through the pandemic, we were able to connect with people and meet people. And that's how you and I met, maybe a year and a half ago, you and I connected and we built a great relationship off of Zoom. Right. And you came to Chicago, we met one time and you're coming back and I'm coming to Dallas. So it's going to be fun, but I'm glad you're here this morning. Tell people who you are, what you do, or let's do this. I always ask a guest this one question and put you on the spot a little bit, but in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
One word. Gosh, that's a tough one, Mike. In one word, I would say an evangelist.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm an evangelist. I can create a movement and gather people up and get people excited about something, whether that's spiritually, professionally, mentally, physically, you name it. I've been given this God-given a talent, right? Like when most people think of evangelists, they think of like religion or something,
I was just going to say that, right?
Yeah. And for me, I've been able to create, a massive movement in the real estate space and then kind of bow out. I've been able to create a massive movement on the streets in a street ministry, and bow out and hand it off. And I think that's what an evangelist does best, is they gather people together, right, for a common goal, a common cause that everyone, whether they're participating or not, can benefit from. And that's what an evangelist does, is they're a gatherer. And I've been blessed with the ability to create charismatic type movements inside of real estate, inside of my nonprofit, inside of, spiritual groups, things like that. Yeah, that would be the one word. I'm an evangelist.
Yeah. And I like what you said, because I was going to say that too, is that, some people just think being an evangelist is talking about Jesus, but it's so much more. And you have a very strong message, and you bring across. Tell people a little bit about yourself, and start there. So there's people that don't know who you are, and let's share who you are.
Yeah, appreciate that. So I have a few core beliefs, Mike, that I live by, and I've got some key phrases, or what I like to call mission statements, that I live by. And so I'll start with those. My mission statements are that everyone should have a no big deal attitude. Having a no big deal attitude allows the water to roll off your back. It allows the mud to fall off your face sooner rather than later. It allows life to happen and not get hung up on all the small stuff, right? A little bit about me, if you don't know who I am. Sure, I am a 9-time best-selling author. I've got a USA Today best-selling book. I've got a Wall Street Journal best-selling book. I've got 7 other Amazon best-selling books. I'm a keynote speaker, international keynote speaker, real estate investor. But first, I'm a husband and a dad. And I haven't always been a great husband or a great dad. And through a series of unfortunate events, I've been brought to the stage in which I'm on. And I often say a second mission statement is that you don't go to opportunities, you grow to opportunities. And so that I know, if you're under the sound of my voice, that you need a little encouragement today, you need a little bit of excitement, you need a little bit of just dose of non-reality to get your mind off of all the noise. And I want to inspire you today. So if you're listening to me, sit back, buckle up, share this out, because who knows where this goes. Mike and I were in a meeting yesterday, and we were doing some marketing stuff for an event that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, my guy just canceled." I'm like, "I got you, Mike, let's go." And so having a no big deal attitude allows you to adapt and shift and be flexible. The second mission statement that I really live by is knowing your numbers. I was a Fortune 500 business consultant for several years prior to getting into real estate. And one of the industries that I capitalized on was the automotive industry. And inevitably, every single dealership that I ever worked with, Mike, I would walk into that dealership and ask every salesperson and sales manager on the floor if they knew what their inventory looked like, what they thought it looked like, how many units or cars on the lot, how many cars in their service department, how many trades did they take in, how many were sitting on the auction spot out back. And I'll tell you, 99% of the time, they didn't have a clue. But by the time I left, they were all walking that dealership. I've been blessed to be in a partnership where we have one of the largest retail brokerages in real estate in the country here in Dallas. And we've got close to 4,000 agents. And most of our agents know the inventory, because one of the first things I did when I became a partner was teach them how to walk the lot or know the inventory. So every single morning, our agents walk the lot or walk the inventory. They go into the MLS. They see what's in the neighborhoods that they're working. They know what's on the market, what's pending on the market, what just came on the market, what's sold in the last 48 to 72 hours. And then last but not least, core mission statement is trust the process. You know, I mentioned several of the accolades that I have, but the only thing that's gotten me through some of the tough times that I've had is having a known, true and proven process. And when I say tough times, I'm talking like, Mike, you know, the hood that I grew up in. Most people don't make it out of alive out of the South Side of Chicago. Not to mention corporate America falling on your face, you know, losing a child to a homicide and a son or a wife to suicide, and then ending up homeless myself, battling alcohol, drugs, and depression for a few years. Like, I shouldn't be here today. September 28, 2011, I put a gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger. That gun never jammed before in its life, and it hasn't jammed since. There's a reason I'm here. I don't know what it is yet, and I'm still figuring that out, but I'm a lot closer today than I ever have been because I trust the process. I trust that sharpening process, that annealing process. And if you don't know what annealing means, that means like if you're trying to make a sword or a knife, you heat it up red hot, put it in the fire, and then you cool it down slowly. You put it back in the fire, red hot, and then you cool it down slowly. And you go through this long process of annealing that metal and getting it red hot in the fire and cooling it down slowly. Some of us tend to, especially in this business, I've noticed over the years, some of us tend to get excited and get all pumped up, and then you hit a hard time and you just stop, or you get overwhelmed, or you get confused, where you're just in that annealing process. You're getting stronger, you're getting sharpened, and you give up. And so there's, you know, three things that I believe, Mike, that I think everybody should know. Number one, everyone needs a good coach, because a good coach can help you see the label on the outside of your own jar. And everyone should trust the process, but more so find somebody that's been proven success in the industry or arena that they want to be in, and hire them. Right. So, yeah. And last, but surely not least, it's definitely at the top. I wear this shirt and a lot of times a hat. Like, I believe that everyone should trust Jesus. I know that when that gun jammed in my mouth and I was homeless on the streets and crying out to God, just show up. Just show up. Back, 2011 and years prior, that I couldn't deny him if I wanted to. Like, I mean, he showed up just remarkably in my life. And so that is the first and foremost, and surely not the last. Everyone should trust Jesus. So those are my core values and beliefs, Mike, based upon a series of unfortunate events that he's brought me through. And so I'm excited to be here and talk about it tonight.
Yeah. Amen, brother. There's not a lot to be said about that, but amen. And I think that's why you and I connect as much as we do, because of history that we've both had, because, we've both been really successful and on top of the world, and lost everything, right, through unfortunate events. And you said unfortunate, and right away I thought, were they unfortunate though for us? Weren't they fortunate for us? Because if we look back today and we see it today, it's fortunate. And I like what this whole analogy of success, right? Success is so much more than things that you have and what you have. It's a state of mind. And you have to be successful in your own mind doing what you're doing before you, can get any of that other things out, right? So the other thing that you talked about, knowing the inventory on the lot. Every successful business knows their numbers. Every successful business knows their numbers. And I love coaching. I've been coached. I've had a personal coach in my life for 20 years, still have coaches today. Believe it or not, you coach me, you're my mentor, and I know I pay that back to you as well and other things. So, but I'm grateful for our friendship today. I'm grateful that we both love Jesus, and grateful where we're at. One thing we need to do, though, you said buckle up. I say buckle up. I got to give some credit to my girlfriend for that. That's her comment. And she always says if I don't mention her.
She knows what time it is.
It is for sure. Hey, listen, you and I are working on a project, and I'm super excited about this year. I do this thing once a year called the Multifamily Summit. 3 days of speakers and events that go on one single platform. It's a virtual event. This year, it's going to be the biggest virtual event of 2022. We're going to have 20 speakers. I know you're going to do some things with me and help me kind of moderate and co-host some of it. And, we've been working on this project together. We've got a great team behind us that's helping on this project, but I want people to know about it, Bryce.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I made most of my industry wealth or experience in and around wholesaling and flipping. And Mike, I'll never forget the first day that we met. I'm like, man, I want to know about what you do, but I've always focused on this one thing. And this is something that I would suggest for anybody, right? Like focus on that one thing. But if you've ever wanted to buy an apartment building or a complex or some commercial multifamily, buildings or properties, this is the place to be. I got excited when Mike, when you told me you had this thing coming up and you were asking like, how have you done your events? Because I've done a lot of events, from speaking on stage with Tony Robbins and Les Brown and Ty Lopez, just to name a few, Kent Clothier, Cody Sperber, right? From doing big stage events to having to adapt and do virtual events. Like most of my events over the last 10 years have been virtual. I mean, we've done over 10,000 transactions inside of my company, the 5-Hour Home Buyers, and all but 6 or 7 of them have been virtual. And so when you told me that you were doing your big event, but you were doing it virtual so that more people could attend, I was like, all right, let's go. So, one of the things that I'm most excited about, and not only to learn, but to be able to share with your audience. And so if you're watching this, like, go grab your ticket now, because I think there's Mike, 350 spots left in total. And you've already sold like 10 or 15. Like we just started launching this week.
Yeah, right.
So you have time. It's in October. Make sure you grab your ticket before they sell out. Right. So one of the things we're going to be talking about is multifamily mindset, right? A proven strategies to grow your short-term cash flow and your long-term wealth. Tax strategies, techniques in raising private capital. That's one of the things that I get really excited about. And we started talking about that when you and I first met. It's like, Mike, I don't know everything about multifamily. I don't know very much at all, but I know how to raise money. I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars in my life. And we're going to be talking about that, right? Exit planning to maximize profits, developing skills to evaluate and underwrite any deal with confidence. Like those are the types of things that we're going to be learning. And you've got how many speakers? 20 plus speakers coming?
Yeah, 20 plus speakers. And I'm just going to name a few. And if you're listening in, forgive me if I don't mention you, but we're going to have Brian Briscoe, just retired from the military after 20 some years. Thanks, Brian, for your service. And he's going to be talking about how to get started in multifamily and scaling your business. We're going to have Karen Hall, who's going to be on. She's going to talk about how you can invest in real estate through your IRA using a self-directed process. We're going to have Stacy Bowers on, who's going to be talking about the legal aspects, right? How to syndicate a multifamily deal and do it within the guidelines of the way the SEC asks you to do that. We're going to have John Kasman from Chicago, who's going to be talking about scaling multifamily. I'm going to have a couple of panels. Carl Moose is going to be on. He's going to be talking about that mindset piece. How do we get our mind right and wrapped around it? Stephanie Gutierrez is going to be on. She's going to talk about ADUs. I mean, this is going to be a big event. 3 days starting October 20th at 9 a.m. And it's going to run all day. And then we're going to run all day on Friday, the 21st. And then Saturday, man, people are in for a treat, especially when we start to close out the day with people like Amy Tiemann from Houston or from Austin, and other people that we're going to have on. Bryce, you're gonna help me wrap this thing up.
I'm gonna blow y'all's mind.
And listen,
hey, let's not forget, Mike. Like, you're the host of this thing. You're going to be teaching and speaking with over 30 years of investing experience, owning and managing over 7,000 multifamily.
Why do you always have to bring my age into this, man?
I mean, you look good for 30 years old, bro. I mean, just saying.
Brother.
Just saying. I mean, Mike has managed over 7,000 multifamily units. Like, you're going to learn from the master, right? I had to jump in. Like, you named all these great speakers, but this is your event and you're the master. You know, I often think in real estate, a lot of people relate to like the Mary and Martha story. You know, Jesus is in the house and we've got one over here washing the feet at the feet of the master, and everybody else is like the other in the house running around doing all this busy work. Like, it's great. We've got some great speakers coming to this event, but Mike's the master. And so you guys get to learn from Mike and his team, and I'm honored to be a part of that. I'm going to blow your mind with some of the sales and technique stuff that I teach, and linguistics and conversation and things like that. But Mike's the best.
Some big surprises, some surprise speakers, also some giveaways at the end. And wait till you see how we wrap this thing up this year. It's going to blow people's mind. How they're going to be able to take advantage of some things that don't cost any money, that they can scale their business and take it to the next level. So go get registered today, because you want.
Can I give them a secret? Can I give them a secret about this a little bit?
Go ahead.
Y'all, I'm just going to give you a clue. Like, go grab your ticket, multifamily22.com. But make sure you get a VIP ticket or greater, like a VIP or VIP plus ticket, because if you get a VIP ticket or greater, we've got an extra treat for you at the end of the 3 days, to where you get to go deep with Mike and I and some of the speakers. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's kind of a surprise, but I'm going to drop a carrot out there. Like, don't just settle for the general admission ticket. Get a VIP or a VIP plus ticket, and you've got a basket of goodies waiting for you at the end of this 3-day event. It's going to be massive. So I'm really excited about that.
100%.
So.
Hey, just a couple more names to drop here. Bronson Hill, who's raised millions and millions of dollars for syndicating real estate opportunities. He's going to be on. And if anybody knows Abel Pacheco, Abel's another guy that I met online, just like you, and we've built a great relationship, and he's going to be on. So listen, this event is going to be huge. 20 speakers, 3 panels, and listen, we're going to play cash flow. Now, everybody talks about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, his events, and the game cash flow. And if you've ever played cash flow as a board game, and Bryce, I don't know if you have ever played virtually, but Michael Zhao is going to play cash flow virtually in a couple of twice over the 2 days. I've been on one of these virtual cash flow games where there's been 50 people in a room. It's amazing. So how he moderates and facilitates this. So if you're trying to learn investment strategies and you're trying to learn how to work in the investment space, in the real estate investing space, balance your life, you need to play cash flow one time, because it's going to, buckle up for this event. Register now, multifamily22.com, and get your.
Yes, Jennifer. Yes, Jennifer. He said buckle up, and we gave you the credit. She's watching. She's like, finally, I get the credit. Yes. We're thinking about you this morning.
All right, man. Hey, listen, this has been fun. Always good to see you. Always good to connect. Look forward to, us. Hey, Friday morning's Bible study. So
tomorrow morning, you know what time it is. It's interesting. You talked about raising capital, and that's one of the things that one of the coaches that I've hired. I'm actually meeting on Friday with Orrin Clough from Pitch Anything, right?
Yeah, I love him.
I'm meeting with him on Friday, so I'm gonna be picking his brain on some of the things that he's done. I just got the notification yesterday that he booked on my calendar. I was like, yes. So you guys are in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't got your ticket, what are you waiting for? It's in October. You've got plenty of time to plan. You got plenty of time to take the day or days off. Like, go grab your ticket, multifamily22.com. Mike, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Hey, here's what I can tell you. My phone this morning is blowing up since we've been on this thing. So it's interesting. People are getting value and like what they hear. Listen, anybody who wants to connect with Bryce, at the bottom, his information is scrolling. Go to 5hourhomebuyers.com or connect with him on Instagram. He always bringing great, relevant content to the marketplace. If you are looking for some insight in real estate and wholesaling, in how to know the numbers a little bit better and what you're doing, connect with Bryce. If you want to just have a conversation, maybe you need a little bit of uplift or encouragement in your life, connect with Bryce. Bryce,
go grab my book.
Brother.
5hourflip.com. Grab my book. It's $7. It'll change your life. We've gotten 2 or 3 homeless people off the street by reading this book. So
yeah, boy, that's a story we'll go live again, you and I, and that's a story that we need to talk about because that guy was pretty interesting. So love you, man. Have a great day. We will catch up.
Brother.